Today we're talking about how to become mentally strong. Yes, that's you. Becoming strong in our mind will help us get through life in a much better way and help us overcome challenges that we face along the way. A friend of mine always posts on social media with their family, their kids. It looks like they have a professional photographer with them when they go on holidays. They visit all these amazing places and it looks like a perfect family. Kids are always smiling. There's never any issues. There's never any challenges. They also make these amazing pictures of what they eat or where they eat, no matter if it's restaurants or cooking at home. Do you have a friend like that as well, who just seems to have it all together and all figured out? Now, I have to admit, I actually don't like them sometimes. And maybe you have a friend just like it, where at times you just don't like them. Bad habits are when we actually look at others and think they have it all together and we feel a little bit envious or jealous of what they have. It is scientifically proven that by envying others or your friends, it can actually lead to potential depression for you. There are 3 ways or habits where you actually reduce your mental strength. Those are unhealthy belief about ourselves. It's when you go into that mode where you don't feel good enough. Maybe you don't feel healthy enough. You don't feel slim enough. You don't feel as accomplished as others are. You host your own pity parties as well, where you actually just feel sorry for yourself. It's not a good habit. The second way that you reduce your mental strength is having unhealthy belief about others. This might be that you're thinking of your boss, that maybe your boss is always giving you all the tough tasks. Maybe they have it out to get you. Maybe the bus driver is always angry at you. Maybe the supermarket didn't stock up on your favorite yogurt just because you know that you will have a problem with that. Or maybe you're thinking that your boss is forcing you to do all the critical tasks at work. Here's a newsflash for you. As an adult, there's very little things that you are forced to do. You have a choice. No one forces you to make that presentation late at night. No one forces you to write emails to your colleagues at 11 p.m. or answer or respond to others at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's you. That is a choice you take. Yeah, there might be consequences by missing deadlines, but it's still a choice. The third is that you have unhealthy beliefs about the world. Like the world is somehow out to get you. That you've been treated a poor hand compared to others. Coming to the earlier point, maybe others seems to have it all together, and maybe that's just the world treating you unfairly. Maybe you just don't have as much luck as others. It's also the same thing that triggers that maybe others are out to get you. Maybe others are out to take something away from you. Having those kind of beliefs are incredibly unhealthy for you. Yeah, it's hard to give up those thoughts and habits, but I can tell you this. It's going to be much worse for you if you don't give them up. They will eat you up alive. There will be times in your life where you need to muster all of the mental strength that you can gather. It happens to all of us, even those people that you think have it all together. That also happens to me. Even though I believe that I had a pretty good life and I haven't necessarily been dealt a bad hand or have had any major challenges in my life, I've still been experiencing the same things that some of you go and deal with every day, where you think the world is out to get you. That could be failed relationships. When I was younger, didn't have the best relationships in the world and felt brokenhearted, resulting in me staying on the couch for a month and a half, feeling sorry for myself. I also lost over $5,000 on a failed business adventure before I was 22 years old. That was money I didn't have. Money that resulted in me having to borrow them from the bank because I lost them. Being only 22 years old at the time had some pretty big impacts on me. But I reminded myself that there was light ahead, and it was a small lesson to pay at that particular time. I moved across the country in Denmark, 300 kilometers for a job, and that job didn't turn out really well. It was not as exciting as I thought it would be. That gives challenges because I gave up another job in the process. I have also experienced being in Singapore, where I currently live, losing my job, most recently due to COVID. Like many others, my job was impacted in the travel industry due to COVID, and I lost my job. without knowing if I would be able to find a new one. And when you're in those situations, you don't know if you have money to put food on the table in the future. Other things can also be that you are losing a beloved family member. So this is where you lose someone who is very near and dear to you. Could be parents, could be siblings, could even be kids. That's a tough situation for anybody. And you and others are experiencing that as well. Maybe not now, but eventually we'll have to deal with loss of family members. It is the cycle of life. So we need to be mentally strong when it happens. So as you can hear, I've had my share of bad fortune or unlucky events or challenges that would struggle my mental health. It does not take a lot to push us off course. But let's not spend months hosting our own pity parties. As I mentioned earlier, I've been there. It wasn't very beneficial to me to spend a month and a half on a couch feeling sorry for myself. But as I also mentioned, I did not lose hope that there would be better days ahead. So when life becomes challenging for us, because it will, and it does, we have to remind ourselves what mentally strong people do to get through these challenges. So here's a couple of things that can help you give up those bad habits and make yourself mentally stronger. And the first one is exactly that. Get rid of your bad habits. Mental strength is like going to the gym and improving your fitness. You have to practice it more often. Yeah, by going to the gym, you might get into shape. But if you really want to see a difference, you also have to change your diet and give up unhealthy foods. The second way that you can get mentally stronger is practice gratitude. There is a different episode on the channel here where I focus a lot on gratitude and also on how to obtain happiness. So I suggest you take a look at that. Also, give up your bad habit of looking at other people's success. Looking at others on social media is an image or a short image of their life, but it's probably not the reality. You see a highlight reel. As I mentioned earlier, if you become envious or jealous of others, it is a road that potentially leads to depression. So give up those social media scrolling where you look at your friends and think about how awesome their lives are, because the high likelihood is it's not what you see on social media. That's not the everyday life. So how do you give up those bad habits and thoughts? Well, for one, you do it by countering them with good thoughts or healthier ones. Feeling bad about ourselves is actually more likely that you feel bad about your own feelings. It's because you feel sad or unhappy, hurt or scared. These are all super uncomfortable feelings, so we try to escape them. Temporary distracting yourself with pity parties or focusing on other things that takes your mind away from these things are very likely not going to help you in the long run. The only way you're going to get through these challenges is actually by facing them head on. Because by facing them head on, you gain practice in dealing with them and dealing with these bad thoughts, bad habits, and bad feelings. Feeling bad about others is because we compare ourselves with others. We blame others for holding us back. The reality is, the only person you need to compare yourselves with is you from yesterday. Are you a better version today than you were yesterday? Stop comparing yourself with others. They have no impact on how you are and how you feel. It is you. So try and focus on becoming a better version of yourself. And the unhealthy view about the world comes around because we have a strong sense that the world somehow has to be fair. That if we put enough good deeds in, that somehow the world will have to reward us for that, or that something good must happen to us. It's kind of like our brain says, well, if I give a little, I'll get something good in return. Here's the reality of it. Life is not fair. And the sooner you realize that, the easier it's gonna be to deal with it. The good news about this is also that also means that no matter how much you've suffered, it does not mean that you will suffer in eternity. Your world is what you make it. And more importantly, how you think it. So you have to believe that you can change it. Think about becoming healthier in your mind by stopping scrolling on social media and stop thinking that all of your friends have it all together. Also, Stop thinking that the world is out to get you. It isn't. It's all in your head. Nothing that's happening in the world is related to you and your happiness or your mental strength. You have a choice as an adult. So why not start today by choosing to be mentally stronger, by exercising it, just like you do with fitness and becoming physically stronger. You have to practice your mental strength. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Glenn Berkeley. Try and write in the comments field below how you become mentally stronger. If you have suggestions to others who might struggle getting through a challenging time, so that we can help each other as a community. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button down below and subscribe. I hear it helps the algorithm spread this video out to more people, and hopefully we together can help more becoming a better version of themselves. And if you're looking for another video to watch and to learn, this one is something that I think will be good for you and that you might be interested in after having watched this video. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.